right? That's the potential we have here on the blue side, Viego. FPX might be giving Nuguri one of his favorites as well. Just talked about Doinb's champion pool, but second most played here for Nuguri is the Gwen. So as he pilots that one, we also got to note that Lwx running with the Aphelios means we need a support to pair up with it.
Yeah, more than likely going to be something like the Thresh, unless JDG are able to take that away here. May then fall back towards something like the Braum. But I certainly like this because, you know, hey, look, chances are with the Viego already locked in, we're going to get some sort of bruiser, short-range composition coming through from JDG. So they take the Aphelios anticipating this. Now, JDG going to opt in towards the Ezreal for Loken. I think this is right. Loken and LvMao have had a very good kind of hands-off in the laning phase and have slowly but surely through like wave management and that been able to get the gold lead for themselves in those matchups. So taking a matchup where they can poke from afar, kind of nullify any sort of potential pressure from FPX will set up an opportunity for JDG to get away from the strong early game that FPX have.
Well said. I mean, there's nothing safer than Braum Ezreal. You can block damage, you can poke from afar, you get the best of all worlds. And as FPX round out their comp, this is what we talked about before. A strong support to line through. It is always the Thresh here in the LPL. It's Thresh in any region, let's be quite real. So Dagda bottom lanes are secure. Potential jungle solo lane flex here for the Viego, but we know Nuguri's got his top pick. What do you want to see here? More mid-bans, or do you start targeting jungle again?
I think top lane here. Honestly, we just talked about at length how strong Zoom is, and statistically, if we look, the strongest champions that Zoom has are Mundo, Renekton, and Sett. So Renekton already taken off the board. Potential here for the Sett, and maybe you see Zoom go back towards this more Mundo-orientated role, especially when you've got like long-range poke that you can work with. But for Ezreal, he can play that frontline tank for things against the Aphelios, but it's not going to have the best of matchups against Nuguri on this Gwen.
I truly wonder, though, Dagda, if we're just going to see JDG go back to something like the Ornn you talked about, right? We have Viego, we have Ezreal, we have champions that can play team fights, and you work so well when you create space with something like that frontline. So with Renekton already being banned away, note the Silas there against Doinb, something we can chat about in a second. FPX might stick on the path to just keep Zoom away, and nope, it's Yagao's Twisted Fate in case they were going to look for something cross-map.
I was actually curious if they were going to mess it about, if it was going to be Yagao Zoe. It's been his most played, something he's pretty comfortable taking nice and early and not worrying about a counter pick. And especially when you're talking about, hey, we got an Ezreal there, potential for that Zoe to work at that long range as well, when we already see the relatively short range FPX composition, but may still go for that here on JDG's side. For JDG's last ban, feels like it's going to be towards mid as well here, but actually going to be going towards the Zac. All right, so throwing a bit of a loop in there.
I just love it. Today we've seen Zac, we've seen Sejuani. Maybe it's just a sign of what a lot of our junglers want to start pivoting towards. You know, we're talking about top tier junglers as well, right? We just saw Casa. Let's not talk about the loss, but instead focus on something that slipped all the way through. Xin Zhao's S tier, and FPX is just going to pick it up.
Super strong, great in team fights, great in these early skirmishes, phenomenal quick clear. And I mean, it fits right into what Tian wants to do, which is right now try and support these late game scaling laners and make sure that they're able to get to a point where they're comfortable. Upside though for JDG, we said statistically, if you look at like gold difference at 15 and these kind of metrics, it is going to be the Mundo, Renekton, and Sett that Zoom is strongest on. Sett now locked in for Zoom in the top lane, and a good matchup against Nuguri.
And we know that Viego is just going to park right where you said it at first, into the jungle. This was another pick you were highlighting on. Gives Yagao a bit of range, and we build up 2/3 of the Team Rocket that LS used to talk about. You already have Ezreal, you add Yagao in, and there's a lot you can do it from range.
And a great disengage tools as well, right? You can have the Braum who's going to play that with that Glacial Fissure, the opportunity for the Sett to roll in over the top as well, the Showstopper. So it's not going to be the Zoe, but still a very similar style here with this poke-orientated comp. The Karma here, rather than providing a hell of a lot of damage, is going to be a two-factor enabler and a disengager. One to run away, another to help Sett get into these fights, helping this Viego get into the fights as well.
On the other side, though, what do FPX want to do? Doinb with the smile on his face. It's the Orianna in the end. A lot of new viewers might be coming in and thinking, but Doinb doesn't really look like an Orianna player. Like, as you remember from his champion pool, it was last split, it was this split that he started picking it up. Again, there's been reports that in solo queue, he's been playing a bit of Zoe as well, which was unheard of. So game number 4 here. Note that Doinb is 3-0 on Orianna, 15 KDA. So a lot of pressure put on once again as FPX round out the draft, Dagda.
Yeah, and definitely for FPX here, you're looking at a pretty short range composition. They are going to be looking towards like this mid jungle 2v2 to try and find these early skirmishes, enable some of these carry performers to get to the late game portion like the Gwen, like the Aphelios, but also enable these engages, because you need someone like the Xin Zhao who's going to be able to jump in with the audacious charge, shockwave over the top, and close the distance onto this long range composition that JDG are operating with. If you end up in a situation though where JDG get off the bat nice and early, they can find some early kills for Viego, they are allowed to operate in the way that they want to around these objectives, it feels pretty tough for FPX to try and claw their way back from a deficit.
But what we need to see is JDG be coordinated around those objectives, right? The comp looks good in theory. You talk about Viego going in and out and playing with the space that you can create, but the thing about JDG in recent games has been that lack of coordination. The fights, the skirmishes we've seen, JDG haven't been able to pull them off. They've been all over the shop and haven't been like the kings that we throned in 2020. And going up against FPX, it's such a big win that they have to bring out here today. 7-7 for JDG. Every game counts, but every series must be a win. Otherwise, they face potential elimination in the LPL. While FPX, guys, they're already locked in. They're 10-3, they have 3 more series left to go, and every win gets them closer to locking in first. It's EDG, as Dagda said earlier, that will be their very last series. The battle for first at this rate, as the Phoenix is soaring high on a 5-win streak yet again. Dagda, ironically enough, a 4-loss streak for JDG as they come into this one.
And the last time we saw FPX taking that first place spot was 2019. The year that they went on to win Worlds, the year that they looked so incredibly dominant, and it feels like we're getting that same vibe from FPX now. And especially as we start to come in towards this game, we're going to be seeing if we can get that similar story from FPX, right? Doinb making these roam plays early. I mean, if you look at his kill participation at the 15-minute mark, he has 65% kill participation at 15 minutes. He's first in mid laners. The only people who beat him are the most aggressive junglers that we have in the LPL. That just says how much of an impact Doinb has in these early stages. And now, with this Orianna, we want to see it again, enabling Tian, working through Nuguri in this top side, and getting FPX ahead.
And Tian has early access, right? It's Zhao. The skirmishing is unprecedented. He's a great duelist. And we know how strong he is around these early scuttle crabs as he moves his way down through the jungle. And we'll just place the defensive ward in case there's any shenanigans from JDG. You see it on the outskirts of the red buff. He is pathing down for the time being, Dagda. It looks like he's leaving Krugs alone and just making his way down to set up for the scuttle mentioned at about 3:15.
Yeah, and you can see as well, Doinb getting some really good trades in this mid lane, getting that push going as well. It means he should be able to respond to any sort of pressure that does come out. As well, looking at FPX in this bottom lane, they're going to be in a position to contest here too. So at least from the early stages, Tian having his buddies in check to make sure he can get that early scuttle.
A couple of wards here from LvMao and Loken. They're doubled up, but it's still, the point is to spot out where Crisp is going to be angling for. As you mentioned it, they hit level 2 first. And on the rest of the map, quick check in here. Kanavi top side. This is why I was talking about the defensive ward. Kanavi is pathing up. There are Krugs to take. No blast cone yet, but Dagda.
He's looking for the gank.
You know what? This is dangerous.
This is a very early gank and something that Nuguri isn't expecting. He hasn't crashed this third wave, and now Kanavi's moving in with the wave.
Remember, he's flashless as well. That's an easy face breaker. Kanavi going to walk in with the Spectral Maw. Face breaker as well. Gets a beautiful punch down. It's, of course, going to be the W Haymaker, excuse me. It doesn't matter. It's first blood in the end for JDG.
Great job from JDG. Not only did we say we want to see them playing through topside, we wanted to see them get Zoom ahead, make sure that he was going to be safe. The double whammy there, setting up Zoom for a great portion of this game. And as well, putting Nuguri behind on something like a Gwen. That's a wonderful start.
Now I'm wondering what FPX are doing, Dagda, here, because it looks like they wanted to contest Scuttle Crab, but Tian is just walking up towards the topside river, going back to his Krugs after getting Scuttle. But Kanavi going to be happy with that, getting the assist, and now moving back to his camps. A great start when, you know, if we talk about conditions here, Dagda, and how the game's going to play out. Tian moving up, but he's on a ward. The Viego set, you know, we did talk about fights and creating space. For JDG, this is exactly how you want your early game to kick off.
And we said that we want to see them trying to like get this early game lead, specifically topside, because we wanted to see Viego enabled, Karma being able to perform at her own pace and shooting players like Zoom and Kanavi into these team fights. And when you're getting these guys ahead, that's definitely a good start. Viego up here once more, but knows that Tian is in position.
Not sure if Kanavi was spotted out. Of course not, he was still quite firmly in his own vision. Tian the ward, you're right. I believe it just expired as he backs away. Now Kanavi angles in once again. Dagda, this is all about timing.
Well, they look like they might have time to right. Flash still on Zoom. He can just flash in to get that CC if he wants.
Nuguri walking into the brush. The ward placed down. Look at him. Kanavi like a little snake around this brush. Nuguri says, all right, he's not here for now, but I believe a ward was just put down as he was backing away. So pings went down, knowing that there is a Viego nearby, but Kanavi backs, picks up the sheen, and the start continues to be JDG favored, even without the gold lead. Just that first blood you were mentioning, getting them off the ground.
And I like that JDG are trying to path towards Nuguri, because what we've said a lot of the times for Nuguri is he's great. Like, really high CSD, really high goal difference 15, but also the highest deaths at 15 in the league out of any top laner. This guy ends up giving across so much when it comes towards just his positioning, trying to go too aggressive in the lane. So when you're paying this much attention from JDG towards that top side, it feels like it's only a matter of time until Nuguri takes that misstep and you can create these opportunities. Now, Tian responding well, going for the invade.
And this is the duel. Remember, this is a Zhao against Kanavi. He gets the knock up, but he's run out of abilities. Kanavi has Yagao on the support as well. The flash. Tian going a little bit deep. Good dark passage, but LvMao there to help out. Concussive blow's not going to connect as Loken is blocked by Crisp. What a big support play. And now we have a skirmish. Doinb in the middle as well. Shockwave comes through and he blasts Yagao. FPX are winning this somehow as Kanavi wants to go into the mist, but the mist is not your friend here. He walks out to the turret. Tian can dive this. Everyone full HP. Crisp not tanking up. It's Doinb. So intelligent from FPX as only one dies in the end.
And they'll get even turret plates here. These are the perfect guns for Lwx. He's going to shred through 2 turret plates, have picked up a kill, and he started Cull. This is the start for FPX that they wanted, and it looked like it should have been JDG favored. Kanavi goes aggressive on Tian, knowing Yagao's in the area. A great flash from Tian, and now Yagao, manaless. He used everything to get towards this play. Crisp, absolutely a spectacular performance there. The Guardian Shield, everything to keep Tian safe. The heal coming through from the Aphelios to keep this Zhao healthy so he can go in aggressive again. And there's just too many members of FPX on this bottom side and not enough left in the tank for JDG.
I mean, this is why another reason we love the region, right? Seeing tower dives, and for FPX, guys, you remember 2019, it's not in that fashion, but we got a bot lane dive with Tian and Doinb involved. That's what we remember. 4 bot, FPX excel. And they've excelled in that play. A 2k gold lead just about at 7 minutes into the game. It opens things up, Dagda. You already mentioned the Aphelios coming through, but Doinb picked up a kill. The Zhao, who loves this early game, is now 2-1-2. The map very much having a big swing of momentum.
And you can see why Tian loves playing through this mid lane so much as well. He's got 23% mid priority because Doinb is always trying to keep him in check, help him whenever he goes for these deep wards, and you get the entire team following as well. And there's so many times that we've seen teams think they've got the jump onto FPX and they end up getting caught out. LNG did the same thing in the last series against them, and it's just been non-stop from FPX. And now you're sitting with a kill apiece onto the 2 carries in the mid and bot, and a double kill on Tian means he can evade at all times.
And now look at the pressure in the bottom lane. LvMao takes a Moonlight Vigil, and so does Loken. Double Graviton, but no activation. Lwx just pushing them off the turret while Tian does Dragon.
And this is what FPX like to do. Get the mid priority, get that bot lane in check, and then turn their attention towards these dragons. Lwx now, right underneath the tower.
I mean, Loken, is he going to be hooked? No, it's LvMao who saves the life. Support's really coming up trumps here as FPX continue to push them off. Dragon goes down, and Dagda, look at the plating. 3 down, 2 to go for FPX.
And generally speaking, the JDG bot lane has been the stable part of the map. They're the only lane for JDG that actually has a goal difference in an advantage at the 15-minute mark. And now they're behind, and JDG might be falling further.
Tian wants to go forward. The distance doesn't give enough range for the wind becomes lightning. Otherwise, you can see Tian going in for the Crescent Guard. Nuguri as well gets a shove in the top lane while Zoom helps out. So Herald is secured. That's great for JDG. But Dagda, they're invading in, they're taking resources. The game's still spiraling very much in FPX's favor. And I want to pull out while we see that small win for JDG. What's happening in the lanes? 10 CS in the Orianna lane with a kill. 30 bottom lane with triple plating. That's a Noon Quiver, a pickaxe already picked up. You talked about Cole. That's almost fully stacked, which will definitely mean the first item. Probably need more Shield Bow or the Gale Force. Take your pick. But Dagda, there's just so much to deal with from an Aphelios before 10 minutes in the game.
And where's your win condition here is JDG? We said, look, you guys fall behind. It's bad news bears. You don't have the kind of the front line to really deal with a lot of what FPX are tossing at you. You've got better scaling when it comes towards the Aphelios and this Gwen at the top side of the map. You wanted to be hitting this mid game in your stride. Use the fact you've got the support mid laner. He's got cheaper items. Her damage is nice and healthy at that point. But instead, you've slipped into not irrelevancy yet, but you need to make sure that you're picking up these advantages, turning this game back in your favor, so you don't just fall apart before you actually manage to set up any sort of offense.
Dagda, I just laugh every time I watch an Aphelios take a turret. I don't know why it's that easy, but it really is. First turret blood goes down while you're walking me through that. And FPX trying to defend topside. Nuguri able to do it. Remember, they want this push down so they can drop their Herald, but Nuguri able to defend 1 versus 3 with a Hallowing Mist. And Crisp has started to move around. Lwx moving up as well. FPX have got a deep push down bot 2, Dagda. This will be a great defense to make sure JDG can't trade.
And you've hit the perfect response as to why FPX is so difficult to manage when they get in this position. There has been non-stop movement the second FPX get a lead. We've seen invades on towards topside with Doinb moving across. Now we get the rotation coming through from Crisp to make sure Nuguri is safe. They're always moving around the map, answering for any sort of play you want to set up, and then collapsing when they have these numbers advantages. It's what's made FPX so dominant, and it's so hard to keep track of because you lose them for a second, and that's when they move. It's using every shred of tempo that they get and just running away with this. They're so good at using it.
Just look at this. Crescendum finally runs out. Thank you. LwX with a level advantage and a CS advantage. Moonlight Vigil. And a bit of Gravitum on the side. Nice pepper with your salt. As LwX going to take the Dark Passage. LvMao can't follow up on that one. And Tian's back up at the top side. Dagda, this is going to continue for as long as plating exists. Kanavi needs to use a Herald. And I'm not sure how Doinb is going to go in this trade as 1 versus 2. Flash for flash. He gets out. Dissonance slows down as well. He'll be able to burst down Kanavi with a bit of shockwave on top. Kanavi now backing away. I mean, Spectral just to run away. Dagda, he's got a Herald that's going to go down in 30 seconds.
And that's the reason Doinb invested that shockwave. Even if he doesn't get the kill onto Kanavi, he still forces Kanavi back. Means that this Herald can't be set up for an advantageous play. And even though it's JDG with the Herald, 5 plates bot side going to FPX. Now you're getting 3 more plates all into LWX's hands on this top side and 1 gone for Doinb in mid. They are just running away with this gold lead and it's ballooned at 13 minutes to 5,000 gold.
And they filled up those balloons with helium, Dagda. I don't know if you've seen Up. I'm pretty sure it's a movie where the old man gets lifted up.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, you can call me out if you want. I've seen it once, but it's a while ago. Maybe my brain is as good as the old man's, but it feels like the house getting lifted up with thousands of balloons here by FPX. And there you go. Herald play has to be dropped mid. Doinb not even going to stop the back because plating should only go to Kanavi at this point.
And it's 1,000 balloons that are lifting up the house, but it's 1,000 cuts that FPX are beating JDG with. We've seen them take this advantage on the bottom side, invading in towards the jungle. Now they're getting the turret plates. And now we're looking at dragons as well that are already in FPX's favor. 20 seconds until this next dragon spawns. You've got Doinb with TP moving topside, Nuguri shoving in this bottom side as well. And now you can get Crisp and LWX, start to shift in with Tian towards the jungle, get the vision control, and make it really difficult for JDG to try and contest. You can even see Yagao, he's sitting in the mid lane. They're trying to see what they can do, but this is just giving the opportunity for Doinb to trade pressure at Dragon into turret plates.
And I was going to ask, like, oh, how did JDG contest this? Is there even a chance? The answer, no. FPX with Double Dragon, Ocean Soul coming up as well. And what do you do? How do you mitigate this, Dagda? Because we talked about JDG's comp being behind, what it means. Still good scaling, still good potential team fighting, right? But I don't think FPX are going to give you the opportunity at this point, and countless objectives are going to be coming up in this elongated early to mid game.
I feel like the best way for them to do this is to try and put Loken and LvMao in towards this mid lane and try and have Kanavi play towards Zoom and play towards Yagao, but may not get the opportunity as you see FPX taking over the jungle once again.
Do they really want to contest this? I mean, this is a 3v3 with Lwx having an item and a half. Their sentence hits. Lwx at half HP as the Glacial Fissure locks down on Chris. They're going to burn the teleport. And it looks like JDG really want in, but FPX have 5 members of Zoom, gets the Sett in. That's a good little start here for JDG, but Kanavi's jumped into his death. You're fighting a team with such a big gold lead, as exploded by an orb of power. Tian jumps into Yagao as well. JDG have lost 2 core members as Loken tries to bring it back, but that's a big no from me, as FPX will say thank you for the free Herald coming up.
And again, it's not just the fight. It's Tower Top now going to go to Lwx. Rift Herald now going to Tian. They're finding these perfect opportunities to take more and more and more against JDG. And again, this gold lead is just getting out of control. 6,000 now. And all that is going to be situated on Lwx. Kraken Slayer has that zeal completed, working very quickly towards that Ruin's Hurricane and also towards Doinb with these massive shockwaves in these fights. You can see here, Crisp managed to hook the Braum, not the best target, but when Sett TP's in, it's directly onto the box from Crisp. JDG have already backed away, so it's a little bit too late here for Zoom to be kind of trying to get into this fight. Lwx with massive Infernums in as well with the shockwave coming through from Doinb. The damage from Nuguri across the back as well. This AoE is shredding JDG.
This is what we talked about, Dagda. Decision making for JDG feels like it's at an all-time low. I like Tian just on the outskirts of a bit of danger there as well. But JDG decision making not great. Is onto Lwx. Loken's going to go through. That's a bit of damage. A bit more needed though. Loken and LvMao coming close, not burning any summoners. And that's what you look for to punish FPX. But you still got to remember that there's the Thresh by his side, and it's a 2-item Aphelios that can always turn it on its head. Dagda, I'm gonna continue forward because it's a 6k gold lead. FPX at 16 minutes of the game feel like this is an easy GG. You know, GG 25 minutes, no claps,
yep.
And that's the ultimate disrespect. I want to point out that it's 180 CS to 120 of the bottom lane. Renan's and a serrated Dirk picked up versus only a Divine Thunderer and a couple of long swords. I don't know what you do at this point as Kanavi's even caught out.
Dead.
Shockwave as well. LvMao too deep. Herald gets the charge. Sends Loken backwards. He has to Arcane Shift. Zoom was coming in for the flank. Zoom is just dead. Double kill over to Doinb. 4-0-4. JDG are not found in this game 1.
JDG have just been shoved around the entire time. FPX are bullies, pushing them out of their own jungle, pushing them out of the lanes, and trying to push them out of this game as well. Tian now going to take this mid lane turret. It's 17 minutes, and there's already all outer turrets down. The mid lane tier 2 is down, and there's a dragon in a minute and a half that puts FPX onto Soul Point. And here you can see with this engage, like Kanavi's already got a run for the hills. LvMao is left out as cannon fodder. And Zoom, you said it, coming in for the flank? The game, it's already done. Zoom is too late to the party again for these fights.
God, not a great performance from Zoom. I mean, that one play showcasing where JDG are at. Dagda, 8,000 gold. Need I say more? Dragon's going to come up. That's FPX's. Nothing in this game should be given over to JDG. As that inner turret went down, deeper vision started to apply. JDG walking towards River, but again, you look at where Lwx is, you look at where Doinb is right now. It takes so many members to deal with one of these members and commit down to a play.
And I think Doinb basically is the story of this game. 4-0-4, JDG
Look
not found. A mage has picked up, they might lose it.
Fancy footwork. He's trying to run away, doesn't die though. I mean, Kanavi comes in, the shockwave flashed away from by Loken. This Orianna doing the old tapper as Yagao just teleports in to be destroyed by Tian. Lucky to survive for now, as that's the showstopper in from Zoom. A good face breaker, haymaker combination, but he has to flash too. FPX are all still alive, and Lwx is ripping them apart alongside this magical girl with a huge ball of fire. Tian with the double. Loken, run for your life. You know it's over.
And you can even see Tian was considering that flash over the wall. They are feeling it. They know they've got JDG on the ropes, but they're going to play it smart. Back away, invest the gold, buy some properties, and then come back and look towards this dragon, which has just spawned. I mean, what do you say, Hysterics? 10,000 gold. 3 dragons already in their back
GG.
pocket. And, I mean, even the better scaling on their side for FPX.
Well, you know, time to stop commentating this one. It's done. It's in the bin. I think FPX have torn them apart, and the beautiful dive bottom lane Dagda, that's the memory from this game, number 1. The dive that was so expertly done that almost didn't net a casualty for FPX. And in these fights, we see how hard Zoom is trying to set up JDG, but TPs like that, what do they do?
And this is why we said, look, if you start to fall behind as JDG, you're out, you're done. And even though this is a phenomenal setup from Zoom, there's just nothing in the tank here for JDG to follow up. You could have Tian tank for days with the Crescent Guard, Doinb shielding people, enabling them with that Command Dissonance as well to get in on top of JDG. And even at the end there, Tian, he pink wards over the wall. He was about to flash.
Oh,
Tian was gone, and someone had to like grab the reins to bring him back. The scruff of the neck. No. We got a dragon. We got to get.
Yeah, we're gonna play it a little bit safe, even though the game is as free as, you know, a 1-for-1 special at Woolworths, right? FPX on top of the Baron here, and this has been done so quick. Look at the crescendo coming out. Kanavi, LvMao trying to get in the business of FPX. The Heartbreaker out for Tian on the chase. Kanavi, do you have a flash? No, he's dead. Ladies and gentlemen, watch as Loken gets hit with shurikens from halfway across the map by a 3-item Aphelios. FPX have Baron, they have a 13k gold lead at 20 minutes. Dagda with 100% kill participation. Orianna, they're ready to run it for a quick W.
And it's why we said watch Doinb. This guy is a monster. This guy takes over games. This guy has put on a performance and a half, not only in this game, but entire split long.
FPX at the Nexus turrets, this looks way too easy right now. A hard defense, even with Lwx taking damage. Maybe they play it safe. They don't need to do this. They don't have to do anything. What? Loken running away. That was a shockwave at half HP. As the Baron wave pushes in, they're like, all right, let's take other lanes and let's play this properly.
But even look at the items for FPX, right? You're seeing for Doinb, he's gone for this Chem Tank Purifier. Earlier spike, not going to scale to late game, but he knows that he just needs to finish this game out now. He's even 2 items ahead of Yagao as well. And FPX, they still have this Baron buff. They can still push in, and Tian is still threatened.
Look at this Zhao. He's a menace. Absolute Dennis the menace. Item and a half, and he feels confident. It's pointless me talking about items, guys. It's a Baron buff team that just picked up an inner turret. Baron is expiring in a minute 35. And FPX might not have the strongest Baron power play, but kind of playing with their food right now. You know, Dagda, it's like, you're not going to get this, right? A lot of Australians out there, I hope, are listening. It's like when you go to Woolworths and, you know, I didn't bring this in.
Go on.
Right.
I was going to say, I thought this was going to be a date reference, and you were about to turn around and go, Dagda, you're not going to get this. I was like, excuse you.
Wow, I'm not that offensive. I'm going to bring it back to the Australians. It's like, no, let's make it even better. You go to Bunnings, and they're offering free snacks. Do you deny that? You don't. You walk in and you say, I have some barbecue sauce, and I'm happy to buy the second one because this is so free. FPX are getting as many snags as they want. And for JDG, something's got to give for game 2 because this has been an absolute walkover.
For our non-Australian friends, a snag is a sausage in bread.
Yeah, it's good. It's specifically home brand, like Woolworths or Coles sausages. I had to get the reference in there. Thank you, Dagda, for translating that. But hey, Nexus turrets now. 23 minutes into the game. There's nothing that can be done. Boxes down, Flay for LvMao. The last stand of Zoom's trying for the haymaker, but through the shield, they blast him. Thank you so much for the shield penetration from Lwx as Nuguri is diving as well. He's had a quiet game, but everyone else on FPX has been tearing apart JDG for this match of the week. Match of the week spelt with an A for JDG.
It has just been domination. FPX showing the levels that we have in the LPL. If you are barely pushing into playoffs, don't even come step to FPX right now. These guys look absolutely unstoppable, and you see it there. Doinb and Tian linking up in the early game, pushing into the jungle, finding these early skirmishes that FPX are dominant in, and always trading not only the kills, but more in the bag as well. Turret plates bot lane, moving then towards the top side. They're solidifying more of those rift towers, more of those turret plates and towers as well. And that gold lead I mean, just look at it. A steady climb. The staircase to victory for FPX.
Dagda, you're gonna call it a stairway to heaven, you know, JDG.
I was, but it's like, it's going the other way, so I was like, yeah.
Let's call to hell. Oh, we got a little bit darker than that as well. I don't know what to say, man. Again, this was like watching Top Esports Ultra Prime game number 1. An absolute massacre. We saw Nuguri got beaten down for first blood, but JDG never went anywhere with it. They got dove bottom lane, and I think my favorite play of tonight is that clean bottom lane dive where Doinb was tanking up turret aggro, where FPX was so in motion with each other, and Crisp in the blocking of Loken to save Lwx. Oh, sorry, Tian. That was true MVP material.
I mean, at this stage, Terror Dives are just another day at the office for FPX, right?
Yep.
They've run this drill 100 times. It's going to the printer and picking up their sheets of just gold at that stage, where they just know exactly what they need to do, tanking, managing that aggro so incredibly well. So I think for FPX, there's just no stopping them. JDG, you gotta come with a better plan. I mean, even this mid-game spiking team couldn't bear witness to what was happening in the early game from FPX.
Well, for FPX, a 23-minute win is a 23-minute win. Game 1 is done and dusted. We'll see if JDG have something to say, hopefully, here in our match of the week.